usually like the precursor to some darkness or whatever, and the news is annoying me to the point where I think all politics is dumb and everyone should just quit. And I was like, well, Pat, maybe just take a little break.
Yeah, it's
do
probably
some
not.
do some recharge type stuff. That's where that came from anyway. And like I kind of want to do a before article kind of outlining
This is on,
all
by
that
the way.
stuff and
Making
why I'm
sure
doing
you
it.
know that we're
Yeah, and
yeah.
Why I want to do it and that kind of thing. And like seriously, it's just like 2020 listing off all the things, and the last thing that I wanted to list
fucking up.
Gosh darn it. Hello. Checkity check.
Gotcha.
No?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the last thing I wanted to list
box, I gotta find another way.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to list on the my list of 2020 ales was fucking Murder Hornets, because like of course. That just yep. I mean, no one's surprised about Murder Hornets. I mean, that's what else is going to come right before the meteor? Murder Hornets. Because of course.
Murder Hornets. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm putting on the Facebook post for So Local Live. Live on YouTube right now. Murder Hornets. How to scare people into watching. Is your bathroom tile cleaner trying to kill you? Details at 11. That's that kind of a thing. Good morning, Warren. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Ginny. Nice to see you. Good morning, Jareen. Good morning, Donna Van Meter. Laugh Track. Nice to see you. Yeah, did you get outside to watch some satellites go over on Saturday night? Because it was freaking cool, man.
I did not.
Using the app that Ginny had sent me the link to that I posted in the comments. The GPS positioning it used with Google Earth was kind of wrong. They weren't exactly where they showed up they were going to be on the app from our Street View, but we saw four satellites in about 10 minutes. It was pretty cool. So that was neat.
Awesome.
Morning, Sue Gentry. Nice to see you. Been a while since I've been here. Missed all of you. We missed you as well. Good morning, Michelle Flood. Wasabi. Nice to see you. So yeah, Murder Hornets. because 2020 just loves to fuck with us. I think
it seems that way. It really does.
So the link I have is a New York Times link. You may or may not be able to access the New York Times, but I'm pretty sure that if you Google search Murder Hornets this morning, you'd find this story in several places. Yeah. Now, so here's the thing. I posted a link to them as Asian Murder Hornets, and I kind of got jumped on by folks that are like, "Oh, it's just another reason to." It's like, well, yeah, okay, it's not the Chinese virus. I get why that's a thing. Spanish flu wasn't from Spain, but these murder hornets are actually from Asia. So I don't understand where the nuanced line in accuracy is there yet. I'm still working. I think we're all working out this kind of new. I don't even know what to call it. What do you call it, Corey?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
Pre-cataclysmic ennui.
Things that won't matter when roving bands of apocalyptic warriors are coming to us to steal our gasoline.
Yeah. I mean, I had a few people send me the whole, Pompeo's like tripling down on it being a Wuhan. Fuck Pompeo. He's a fucking liar. He's a huge, colossal lying liar face. Now, did China probably give us bad data on the initial parts of the thing? For sure. So now we have two, world superpowers, arguably, that are lying pieces of shit. Who cares? It's a wash. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change anything at all.
Yeah.
They're just desperate to change the subject and try and blame anyone at all, because the dummies will get completely and totally wrapped up in whose fault it is. And you're watching it all over the place.
Yeah, I'm seeing people circulate petitions to have Bill Gates named enemy of the people or some shit. Yeah.
Like at one point as Bill Gates, you're like, I'm a little annoyed because I can't find anything that suggests anything other than the fact that he's been spending his ridiculous amounts of money and intelligence creating things that will help people.
Yeah.
That's what he's actually doing. If you actually listen to an hour of him talking about epidemiology, the motherfucker knows what he's talking about.
But only so he can microchip you and track your every movement.
Right. Honestly, yes, because that's how you solve for epidemiology, right? Like, for everybody wanting to open up the and again, we're going to open up. We're going to have a second wave. It's going to be great. We all know this. But the way to do it, and there are countries now that are doing this. I think India is actually doing this. You get an app on your phone, and you basically have to let the government know when you're leaving the house, and it basically is automatic retroactive contact tracing, right? Because if you become or if you test positive, it will know, everybody that you were near behind that. So you can actually open the entire country up and only localize quarantines for the people that you need to, right? So boom, economy saved. But they don't want to do that.
And if I recall about South Korea, they had not only police teams that would come yell at you to go back in your house, but drones that would.
That was China.
Hey,
yeah, which is hilarious.
Yeah. So that's not a thing. Bill Gates is not conspiring to control your life any more than if you have a phone. They're already tracking where you go on your phone.
Yeah.
They being the State Department can do that. The government can do that. The NSA is certainly doing that. I remember in the week during spring break, they were showing phone traffic hotspots in your community to show how many people were out at the beach that shouldn't have been, how many college students were there, and how many were traveling back home. So this is the thing that's already happening. It's not. Yeah. That app is the wet dream of every fascist state. See, Bubbleviz, there's the problem. We're actually literally having a possibly, massively fatal event. That's when you want government control of things. This is when we want that.
And it's not even necessarily control. It's just a collaborative effort to actually get things done. As a nationalist, you should totally dig that. So your views are deeply inconsistent.
Oh my God! There are already chips in our debit and credit cards that can be tracked for their own purposes. Also, phones. Yeah.
Seriously, this is like the whole idea that it's hilarious. They're already tracking us. What we're suggesting is that they put a database together that allows us to save fucking lives. It's not rocket science at all.
Yep. Fear is not a good reason to give up freedom. It's not fear, Bubbleviz. It's wanting to protect my fucking mom.
Well, that's the
and
thing.
Your mom and my roommate Donna, who has a compromised immune system. It's not fear. That's an asshole way to look at this. I'm not fucking scared of getting COVID-19. I'm not. I'm afraid that we're going to lose people that I love and care about, and that you love and care about. A whole shit ton of waiters and cooks that are going to die in my community because we're reopening restaurants today. That's what I'm.
Yeah, honestly, like this whole argument is ridiculous because honestly, it was the tiniest little bit of convenience that helped Bubbleviz give up all of his freedom already. It's not fear. It's not anything else. The tiniest little bit of awesomeness that comes from your magic rectangle was enough for you to already give up every bit of that freedom. It's already gone. So get off your little high horse because seriously, it's pathetic. It really is. I can't even. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna watch 100 TED Talks in 100 days because talking to stupid people is driving me fucking mental.
Nice.
It's literally making me crazy. That's all I got. We can end the show now.
So I got a cool quote that I found today in meme form. There are lots of things I find admirable about Buckminster Fuller as a thinker in the 20th century. And I thought this quote was pretty freaking cool. Let's see if I can bring this up and share it and make it readable. We must do away with the absolutely specious notion that everybody has to earn a living. It is a fact today that 1 in 10,000 of us can make a technological breakthrough capable of supporting all the rest. The youth of today are absolutely right in recognizing this nonsense of earning a living. We keep inventing jobs because of this false idea that everybody has to be employed at some kind of drudgery because according to Malthusian Darwinian theory, he must justify his right to exist. So we have inspectors of inspectors and people making instruments for inspectors to inspect inspectors. The true business of people should be to go back to school and think about whatever it was that they were thinking about before somebody came along and told them they had to earn a living. I just love that quote. I would imagine he said that sometime in the 50s or 60s, and it's maybe more relevant now, but he was a pretty confirmed futurist. So I thought that was a pretty cool quote. Agree or disagree?
That is good. No, I mean it's the core argument for UBI, right? Like never, like on top of give everyone basic human dignity and survivability and. Right. It really does allow people to get into that, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. And it's a mindset that requires changing. Like one of the things, like, you know, my mom is a pretty amazing person, but she is of an age, right? And my girls are both very creative people. In fact, my daughter Grace, may I brag for a minute, now is allowed to carry the title MFA behind her name. She just completed her Master of Fine Arts Creative Writing degree from Columbia College. She's now Grace Smithwick motherfucking author, which is pretty cool. Going to be published here shortly, and I'm pretty excited about that. But anytime they created anything, you know, creative, my mom would say, is that something you can sell? Is that, you know, is that like her whole framework for creative work was that it was something you could sell to make a living. And while that's cool, it's not necessary. Creating things just to create them. I wish we honored that more than we do. I may never sell a painting or a song, but I create because I like the feeling of creation, and I like the feeling it gives other people when they see my created works. Clearly, I'm doing a thing that is difficult to monetize, and it is creative work, especially when I spend the time to write and research the things that we talk about. So I just love that. I just love that quote about let's rethink, and this is a good moment to do that, right? This is a good moment for us to contemplate: is earning a living required, and why are we so? Because I had to. Because I think my kids should have to, since I had to. No, let's maybe look at it a new way. Well, we have a moment.
It's just we can, right? Especially as, you know, we're right now to suggest that we don't have the capacity to give everyone the absolute basics is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and that's only going to increase, not decrease. And so freeing everyone up to think and come up with cool and newer ways, whether it's to, you know, be better at video games or whatever. There's actually one of the TED Talks. Actually, I'm going to write this on this post. There is a TED Talk that I just listened to about boredom. That actually was the kind of generator of the idea that formed yesterday, and it's awesome. I'm just gonna write it down on that post. So talk amongst yourselves.
Nice. Yeah, the ones that I put in there, immortal. The very first. If somebody has never seen a TED Talk, the one that I inevitably pull up to show them is the vending machine for crows. The guy that created a way for crows to get rewarded by dropping bits of trash on a plate on a machine in the parks and have them actually clean our parks for us for peanuts, literally for peanuts. I thought it was such a great idea. And the one about the ACEs score, the adult childhood, I can't remember what it stands for. Sorry. The adverse childhood experiences score. And by the way, the the doctor that developed that is now the California State Medical Authority. She's the Surgeon General of California now. So that turned out to be some really important work. Jackson Katz, violence against women is a men's problem. One of my favorites. And of course, the one that we were just talking about, the Amanda Palmer having a real job. TED Talk is a pretty inspiring one for people that do what we do. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
a little bit of a cough this morning.
What?
I got a little bit of a cough this morning.
How dare you?
Yeah. But Greg, most conservatives feel exactly that way. If I had to bleed, so you have to bleed. Yeah, well, fuck them. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be a lot easier to build in spite of them than with them.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but what are you going to
do? Yep.
Yeah. So
Sue. Now here's a creative person who actually, is able to monetize her work and do okay with it. And when we creators are drawn to that, it's a shock to everyone. When you choose to make your living at it, no more shocking to me than no more shocking than to me that I've been able to do it. Yeah, it's a hard task, and people always undervalue creative work. It's a problem for us. We should be rethinking that. And our friends Dave and Julie are the people that really brought that to my attention. All creative work has value, and it should have more value than it currently does.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I gave them a drive-by hug yesterday. They did their Sunday front porch concert, And so
Nice.
I was on my way to my mom, so I pulled past, rolled the window down, and gave them a big drive-by hug. They've been doing that every Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. What else is
new? The short is basically in play. It dropped down below that ascending wedge that I was talking about last week.
Right.
So I added a bunch to my short.
Right.
So yeah, I'm thinking at minimum we're going to see the lows, but I think a lot more likely that it's going to go down towards 10,000, which is about a 60% drop.
That's insane. That is crazy. Has it ever dropped that much ever?
Yeah.
60%? Probably 1929, I'm going to guess, was a bigger than 60%
very
drop.
Very rarely.
Yeah. Was that the only one? The only
I wonder what I think it was close to that.
In 98 maybe? Or 2008? Jesus. Time is getting dilated and truncated all at the same time in my head. Like things that seem like they were 20 years ago or 5 years ago, and it's kind of blurry right now. Deb Marcotte, I had major anger yesterday. Saw protesters screaming at a police line, then realized there were children between the adults and the police. Yeah, Blue Lives Matter. Yeah, so let's scream at them with no masks on because we care about them. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. But these are all single day drops.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Hey, there's a SpaceX story up today that I think is pretty interesting. I'm getting this from The Hill, the website The Hill. But how SpaceX's Starship became NASA's ace in the hole to get to the moon by 2024. Now, this is interesting on several levels, one of which is that I may have to admit that our bet is a push, because if it turns out that NASA can't get to the moon by 2024 without SpaceX, I think that would indicate that that your bet was a winner as well as mine. So NASA has announced 3 commercial teams that have been slated to build machines that will return human beings to the moon in 4 years. 4 years, Corey. In 4 years.
I like it.
They are Dynetics, Jeff Bezos, Blue Origin, and Elon Musk's SpaceX. Of the 3, the proposal by SpaceX has the most potential to land the next man and first woman on the moon by 2024. SpaceX entry into the commercial space race to land on the moon is a modified version of the Starship, the massive rocket being developed in Boca Chica, Texas. The Starship would be launched into Earth orbit by an even bigger rocket called the Super Heavy. Is that the BFR? The Super Heavy?
Yes. The Super Heavy is the giant booster for the BFR, right?
Which is SpaceX's vehicle to build a settlement on Mars. Once in Earth orbit, it would be refueled by another Starship configured as a tanker before heading to the Red Planet. The Starship could also fly to the moon and back in a similar manner. To shoehorn Starship into NASA's preferred architecture, the lunar Starship would fly without the flaps and heat shields needed to return it to Earth. So they're going to throw one away to get us to the moon by 2024. Once it arrives in lunar orbit, the lunar version of the Starship would dock with an Orion that would be delivered by the Super Heavy Lift Space Launch System. The crew would transfer to the lunar Starship and ride down to the moon's surface. When the mission is completed, the Starship would lift off, dock with the Orion that had been left in lunar orbit, and transfer the crew. The astronauts would then ride Orion back to Earth. The Starship is NASA's ace in the hole for landing people on the moon by 2024 because in its original configuration, it needs neither the Orion or the SLS to take people and cargo to and from the lunar surface. The fact is important when one considers how expensive and how late the SLS system has become. The latest development is the revelation that the SLS may have leaky fuel tanks. That's not a good thing on a spacecraft. Fire bad.
Well, especially when I mean, it's just the whole design is wrong. The idea is wrong now. Now that you can land rockets on their butts, everything about it is stupid, right? Like that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like super awesome, but it's like, I mean, and how I know we've talked about this before, but like flying a 747 and then blowing it up once you get to where you're going. Right.
Well, watching the SLS test recently, where they burned up the first stage, you know, it for the first time in my entire life that looked wasteful to me. I was like, I watched them cut away that booster and realized,
right, like what a shame,
it's going to burn up. Yeah, unlike
exactly.
landing on its ass. So one can imagine a scenario in which the Space Launch System continues to experience mounting cost and extended delays, so much so that it places the 2024 return to the moon date in jeopardy. At the same time, one can imagine SpaceX making progress on the lunar Starship. Part of the company's bid for the lunar lander is to demonstrate in-orbit refueling and then to land the Starship on the moon without a crew. So that will happen between now and 2024 to prove its viability. The Starship would also be able to deliver 100 tons of cargo, along with the 100 tons of cargo on the moon. Holy,
I'm telling you, man,
that's enough to build a city.
Like,
that's enough to build, HABs and life support systems and nuclear generators for heat. That's freaking amazing. Really amazing.
Really is.
Yeah.
Like, and before too long, they're sending like 2 space rated SpaceX boring machines per ship. Right, like that's the thing. Like building HABs on the moon is nowhere near as smart as digging a hole and putting a HAB in it. Just radiation, the whole 9 yards, right?
Right.
Well,
and we know that that's probably where the water is going to be, is at the bottom of crater systems, right? We know that that's, in the shady side of the bottoms of craters is where they're likely to find large deposits of water, which is necessary for sustainability and farming and things like that. Under the above scenarios, NASA may be faced with I
have some data. So the .com crash, about 35%.
Okay.
The 0708 crash, about 55 to 60%. Top to bottom already for this one. Is close to what's 30,000 down to 18,000? 40%.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think we're gonna revisit those bottoms.
Huh.
I had to guess.
So this article, I read most of the article to you, but it makes a good case for why they're in the final 3. So that's pretty interesting. Good morning, Jen. Regina, nice to see you this morning. Let's see. Did I miss any comments that yeah, nothing says freedom more than using your children as human shields. Yep.
You do.
Fred Eater, I thought I saw that Musk is voting for Trump. Perhaps I'm mistaken. Did Musk hit his head or something? Regularly, he's been saying some really outlandishly dumb things.
Yeah, recently. I haven't seen him say that, but he has been universally wrong about the pandemic. But I mean, his head is full of other shit.
Yeah. Refueling would be done from starship to starship. That'll be interesting. Has there ever been refueling in space? Like I know they transfer fuel from one part of a spacecraft to another.
I mean, they probably have to refuel the space station, right?
Nah. Well, those are hydrogen peroxide thrusters. They're not really, rocket fuel thrusters.
Right.
So the moving the IS, I think they actually use like something that's docked with the space station if they need to move it any reasonable distance. I don't think it has internal engines. Huh. I know it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a modular system that they can boost around by using whatever is attached to it to fire motors. So that's
have you read 70s yet?
No.
God damn it, Greg.
I know. I'm terrible with digital books. Like I can't focus on digital books. I have to have a paper copy. It's just the thing.
If I had a paper copy somewhere.
Yeah. You could just fax it to me.
I guess. Print it. Because that's efficient.
You should go to Joni's shop and buy it. Joni is open, by the way. The paperback exchange on Ridge Road is open. Limited hours, social distancing in effect. If you're a high risk for COVID, they will have some private shopping hours, but you need to message Joni at the store to find out when you can come in. And I can't wait to be in a bookstore again. I miss Joan particularly, but I miss the bookstore nearly as much. I'm so glad that they're doing it very, very responsibly. So we got like a lot of things going on right now. Let's see. They need to make a big landing platform on the moon for these big starships. And I kind of think that the empty test maybe they'll have robotic pavers. They'll have some way to get outside and build a launch pad. That
would be super smart.
Yeah, Michelle Flood. There's a great article about our economy in the post-virus days at thebulwark.com. We can't reopen America. Cool. Thanks for throwing the link in there. Above all, Musk is a rich white man, so he gets to say whatever the fuck he wants, is essentially how that works out. Boxer, I know, Fred, but that is where we are. I have a no longer friend who's gone full incel. Those people have a community is fucked up. That those people have a community is fucked up. Fred, intelligence doesn't always transfer from one area to another. Musk is not stupid, obviously just wrong about COVID. Yeah, yep. It's okay to be a rich white man. Sure it is. It doesn't give your opinions any more weight, or it shouldn't give your opinions any more weight, but it does.
Well, and even more to the point, the whole point is he won't suffer any of the consequences that a non-white rich person will, right?
Yeah.
Like not understanding that confers a ridiculous amount of privilege, so he can say all that kind of stuff. And
he has a safety net that you and I will never experience.
That's exactly it. And that I think is the main reason why we bring that up, and it's super valid.
Yep.
So anyways.
Yeah, so that's happening. Murder Hornets. I can't get my head around the fucked upness of that story.
Oh.
I mean,
okay.
I know that they exist, but I'm disappointed that they now exist here.
Yeah, it's not good. That's not good. So Upload on Amazon Prime.
Yes. Yeah,
it's
I watched
really
the first 3 or 4 episodes. Pretty good.
There's one character in the office that sort of this like entitled nerd asshole. Anytime he talks to women, reminds me of the whole incel thing, which Ginny was just laying out like a boss. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's see. Michelle, Saturday Night Live should bring back the Killer Bees and add the Murder Hornet. I like this idea. Let's see. Danny Aykroyd is still around, and Jim Belushi does the John Belushi part of the Killer Bees. You know, that was them doing music stuff on Saturday Night Live back in the day. John Belushi and Danny Aykroyd. That's who the Killer Bees were.
Yeah, I had no clue what the hell you were talking about. So thank you for that.
Yeah. What? Oh, here's something I want to talk about that's local. You know, today's Monday. May the 4th be with you. That's your cue to pet Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
And that means that many parts of the state of Florida are going to reopen today with some restrictions. One of my problems with this is the 25% capacity rule for restaurants with indoor seating. That's a good idea, right? Except that what's going to happen inevitably. Look for this on your TV news at 11 o'clock tonight. So many people are going to rush out to go to their favorite restaurant. They're going to queue up out front in a waiting line for a table, which is something that happens on a busy night at 100% capacity. And all of those people are going to be risking the lives of everyone around them to get a cheeseburger.
In Vegas, they tried that same kind of rule, and they had pictures of freaking packed out, everyone breaking the law.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's there's nothing that I can do about it, so I almost don't even want to think about it anymore.
Right? Like it's gonna fail. I mean, it's gonna hurt the economy worse than staying closed for longer. Furthermore, 25% seating capacity probably doesn't make the nut every day for a restaurant. In other words, how are they going to make a living? How are they going to, restaurants are not going to be able to turn a profit.
They're not. Yeah, this is 100% so that they can basically tell businesses that they're on their own and employers that they're on their own, and limit the expenditures for actually helping people. That's all it is.
Yep. And as much as I love Disney and all things Disney, their plan to reopen has temperature testing for every employee at all employee ingress egress points, wearing masks, a lot of other safety procedures. But it doesn't do anything about guests. It doesn't say the guests have to have temperature checks or wear masks. So, have you ever been in a line queue at Disney World? I'm sure you have, Corey, much to your chagrin. Yeah.
However, if they put social distancing into those lines, they would go by 4 times as fast.
I just think it's completely
No,
unsafe.
the whole thing's dumb. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I need some silver linings, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I know this is exactly what I tell other people not to do, because everyone should have to fucking face how terrible everything is. But I'm freaking really close to just being literally depressed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna do some things to fix that on my own, and hopefully be of some use to this community at some point.
And many of our family-run spots are still not offering indoor seating. Some are offering outside tables for you to eat your takeout if you choose. That's probably moderately safe, but again, all of the cooks, all of the servers, all of the restaurant staff, all of the supplier staff, all of the beer distributor staff that have to service those restaurants are still at risk, and they're not going to be eligible for unemployment now if they don't return to work. In other words, if they refuse to return to work because they're worried about their safety, they can be fired, and and therefore not eligible for unemployment. This is all fucked up, and it's designed to save big companies money. That's all it's for. It's not to keep people safe at all. It's just a terrible plan.
This is definitely one of those things that I don't want to bring up, but I think for history's sake, we have to. So we blew past the 60,000 death rate, right? So that's just going to go to 60,000 and it'll stop at that. So they have to revise it up to 100,000, which is also completely stupid. It's going to be multiples of that. So Trump admits that deaths could hit 90,000. It's actually, again, going to be.
And he shrugged when he said it, like, no big deal.
And, whatever. It's just change, the goalpost or whatever, right? But the thing that everyone needs to know around that is that what's really going on is that the press is treating him worse than Lincoln.
Yeah. Lincoln had better press coverage, is what he said. And by the way, that is provably untrue. You don't even need anything from this decade to show it. Go back and watch Ken Burns' Civil War series. And
Lincoln got shot in the back of the head.
Not by the press, to be fair.
Whatever.
My point is, like, if you go back and watch Ken Burns' Civil War, where they use quotes from people from the time, things that were said by the northern press about Abraham Lincoln were horrifying.
It was harsh.
Really bad.
Yeah.
That he was an ape. Yeah. He got compared to an ape. Literally called Ape Lincoln by one of the New York papers on a frequent and ongoing editorial basis. So, it's just fucking bullshit. And Donald Trump, like, November's coming.
Yes.
Yeah. Hope not. Oh God. Yeah. He sees himself as Lincoln. Oh my God.
What's really, and I'm still in that, the group that the Yang people took over. It's really messed up too. None of the Trump supporters can figure out how to leave the group.
Of course,
this is real. So they just changed it to people who know that Trump beats off. So every boomer that can't figure out how to get it, like, that's in their list of groups that they're in.
Right.
Forever and ever, amen.
So does that require like tweezers and a magnifying glass? What's
I guess
going on there?
Whatever
that's
you
an
would
image
do
I didn't need in my head. That's certainly
thanks for that.
Not something I needed.
That was a disservice to all of us.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. They like, I love being in that group, just because I think
they're trapped in a revolving door.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Perfect analogy.
But yeah, it's been good for me to get kind of a regular every other day dose of how fucking insane they are. Like it as insane as I ever would have sort of imagined. It's so much worse. Like, it's they're completely brainwashed. Like, completely.
Casey Marion stealing your line. Other than that, Mr. Trump, how was the show?
Nailed it.
Yeah, like I saw the meme floating around this week. I really liked it. Was, if you'd have told me in 2016 that the Trump presidency would end in 2020 with a massive pandemic and the economy in shambles, I would have totally believed you.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think we predicted how bad this would be. I think we soft pedaled it a little bit.
We were harsh. I was really harsh.
Oh, and we were unfriended and ridiculed and ostracized by our community locally for being as harsh as we were.
We should go back to the shows like right after the election and just take out some clips and like, hey, so Not that we would say, I told you, just kidding. That's what this is. We told you so. This is it.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
We literally told people that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. League of Women Voters lawsuit failed to remove the notary requirement to file for vote by mail. Good Lord. Good Lord. That's just nuts. Yeah. Fred Heater. Trump is to Lincoln as I am to Michael Jordan. Yeah. I like that Fred Krueger changed the name of the group that we're in the other day to people who don't believe this is just the flu. After
it's coronavirus economic impact for people who think this is worse than the flu.
Oh man, yeah, we have clips, Jareen. We have a whole bunch of. I listened to a couple of shows from right after the election last week when all Corey and I wanted to do was curl up in a fetal position and cry for a week. We were doing coffee on the dock then, where we were sitting in Corey's backyard on the canal, whimpering in pain for a few weeks,
basically.
And, yeah, and
at least the scenery was good.
It was beautiful. And I miss it. Then we had a day we went to do a show from a remote location out in a park and ended up yelling at a person that, despite knowing better, voted for Trump. Those were bad days. Michelle Flood was part of that whole scene right then when we were like, no, really, this is way worse than you think. And I think in that moment we were constantly surprised at who some of the people who thought Trump was a good idea were. We like people who were, liberal, pot smoking hippie people voted for Trump, and we were like, what are you thinking? How, so that was the first inkling I had that lack of critical thinking was not simply a conservative way of looking at the world.
Yep. Never dull. Yeah. Never dull.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I have much else today. I miss being on with you guys. I miss the comments. Like when we're not going to do a show or we know we can't do a show, what bums me out is knowing I'm not going to get to chat with you people in the comments. So, yeah.
Yeah, Casey's statement, 11/10/16, we will be extremely lucky if we're able to evade nuclear war under Trump. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and we both subscribe to the exactly what Hillary Clinton told us. There will be a crisis, and he will not live up to the requirements of even the minimal presidential efficiency or effectiveness as president.
Amen.
So Hillary was right. Butter emails. Yep.
I still have people that, and it's basically like it's a block offense if you bring up her emails on my threads, but there's still a few people that have brought it up.
Oh yeah, Benghazi still comes up.
Just incredible.
Yep. Jen Rakita, am I the only person who specifically sets aside time to rage cry daily? I'm not setting that, I'm not that formal about it, but I do rage cry on a fairly regular basis. I have to admit. Greg, could we do a social hour soon? I'll tell you what, I would like to do that. But it's been tough to get ourselves together to do 2 shows a day. That's been a little tough for us. But we'll try and work something out for that. We'll work on that. Oh my God, still do a show. We are bored and we need you guys. Thank you, Ginny. I appreciate that. Yeah, he tells it like it is. Yeah, in his head. It is fucking scary in there. He speaks like I do. Yeah, because I am educated and have more than 100 words vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Jareen, thank you. Says my song threads have been super fun. I found a graphic that has like a 30-day exercise in choosing songs. Have you seen that? Have you noticed that going by in your feed, Corey, at all? I can bring up.
I've seen some variations on it.
Yeah. This one is like some of the ones that you can only pick 3 albums from this year or that year. I'm not really liking those. But this one, basically a 30-day song challenge here. I'll share the graphic with you. And I think we're on day 24 now, a song by a band that you wish were still together. Like some of these are really cool exercises and going looking for songs. And I've been doing this for 24 days now. And it's, if I don't do it, Holly Brown messages me. Hey, where's the song thread? So we're doing that. I also found another one that's COVID related. And I think after this one expires, I may start doing that one, but it's been a lot of fun. People are listing links to their songs in the thread. You can click on it like a playlist. That's on my personal page if you guys want to tune in and play along with that. It's been a lot of fun. Some great music I'd forgotten about shows up in those threads. So that's cool. Thank you very much, Jareen, for liking it. I appreciate that. Bubblebiz, static fire for SN4 is expected for tonight. Last night it was wet dress rehearsal. Lots of venting and some frost and big flares. That's cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. Casey Marion, how about the Red Rose Burnout Brigade political hit job totally blowing up over the weekend? Yeah, I'm social distancing myself from the Tara Reid story.
Me too.
I'm trying really hard to let other people sort that out. Nothing has changed my personal calculus that voting for Joe Biden is what needs to happen for me. I'm not excited about Joe Biden as a candidate. It never was, but the alternative is pretty stark and much worse for our country.
Yeah, I know Casey's been following this like crazy and had some really important sort of, she's probably Tara Reid is probably not credible. Again, I'm all for investigating the shit out of it. I don't think that would work out really well for Tara Reid. But again, wherever the chips lay with a really good investigation is all I am for and all I want and all I'm going to say about it.
Right.
But Rio and I talked about it on the Moving Forward podcast, and he basically said, listen, let's game this out to the worst case scenario. They're both guilty of rape. Cool. Pick the one that's going to, not destroy the country. Right? Pick the one that's like all the same arguments apply, and it's gross and it's disgusting, and it doesn't actually change the ethical or moral argument of having to vote for Biden anyway.
Right.
It's the same. It's gross, but here we are.
He has said before that he was going to serve for 4 years and step down. And that would mean that his vice president would probably then be the presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party. If that's Elizabeth Warren or Stacey Abrams, I'd be really happy with that. I'd be okay with that outcome. So while I want a more progressive, I want more progressive momentum, maybe we just can't have that right now. Right. Maybe that's something we have to be thinking past that. First of all, if he is the nominee and if he is the president, it'll be the most progressive platform of any president ever to serve. So there's that. It's better than where we are. It's better than where we would be going under a second Trump term. There's lots of calculus here that indicates that we can be squeamish about it and uncomfortable with it, and we rightly should be, because this is a complex issue that doesn't have a binary answer. But at the end of the day, there's just no doubt in my mind that a Biden presidency and the down ticket effect on other Democratic candidates is such that that's what we just have to do. He's not going to step aside and let Bernie be the nominee. That's not going to happen, nor should it. We are where we are, and none of us like it.
Yeah, Casey said the chips already got played and played. Reid had to retract her claims about filing complaints, full on fraudulent. Mom agrees there.
Biden says open all records, investigate fully. That's what Biden says we need to do.
That's 100%. Anyway, yeah, that but I mean, the Chris Hayes, why is this happening thing? He had the epidemiologist, the virologist on, and he was the one talking about the fact that bullshit takes an order of magnitude more to repair than to espouse originally. Or I think it was Shakespeare that said a lie can travel all the way around the world before the truth has put its pants on. And that's the thing, like that damage is already done. And like the amount of people that are willing to succumb to the whole false equivalency and then, oh my God, Democrats are all hypocrites. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. It's all just sitting right there, the sort of partisan bullshit anyway. So, I mean, damage done. Do I think it's going to be enough? No, but we'll see.
Yeah. Goodness. Yeah, I'm sort of clipping along with the comments. A lot of women who've worked in government service will tell you that the I don't want to get into the specifics of the complaint. I don't think we need to go there.
I don't either.
And it is uncomfortable. And I'm glad that we're capable of having uncomfortable conversations in this moment. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, boxers. I did see that. Said also, I believe her father wrote a passage in her writing that sounds remarkably like Reid's complaint. Yeah, or apparently Reid's dad as an author or some shit like that. Huh. And it's like exact. It's like super weird. But again, like proof of nothing.
Right. Okay, so I think we exhausted that subtopic.
More. Yep. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Fred. Thank you. All right. Well, what's going on? Oh, apparently there's an asteroid that's gonna fly by the Earth today.
Yep,
That's fun.
Yep, the comet did disintegrate, by the way.
Okay.
So invalidating my meme. Damn it. It was a pretty good meme, though. I heard that the North Sea, as with less human traffic now, Vikings are coming back. So nature is restoring its natural order.
Nice. NASA is asking space fans to stay away from the historic launch.
What?
Did you want me to repeat it?
Well, yeah, I have a parking permit in the works, so I hope that's not true. I hope they don't not honor those because of that. Fuck. I really wanted to go to that launch.
Yeah. NASA's top officials asking space fans not to travel to Florida later this month to watch astronauts blast off from American soil for the first time since the retirement of the space shuttle in 2011. When we look back to the space shuttle launches, we had hundreds of thousands of people that would descend on the Kennedy Space Center. We're asking people not to travel to Kennedy, but to watch online or watch on your television at home. Who confessed that it made him feel sad to have to say this, Bridenstine, whatever. I mean, seriously, that's the right thing to say and do. Even though this is super historic and that's very sad and it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, Donna, she found the loophole. Well, we're already in Florida, so
fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Yep, I remember being stuck on I-4 during a launch back in the day. I was at a Disney Resort hotel one time, and we just happened to be leaving our room to go out to watch something and saw a launch from there. And that's pretty impressive from that close because you're only about, I guess, 40 miles from the coast right there. So that was pretty neat. We just happened to be facing the right direction to see a night launch.
That's awesome stuff.
Less non-Floridians to deal with. I hope that works, but I also hope Phil Beckelheimer gets me a parking pass. Let's see. Weird things how the entire Reed thing is being driven out of hardcore Sandinista fringe. Yep, that's absolutely true. The journalist that was the first out of the box with this is somebody that said a whole lot of horrible things about Hillary Clinton on behalf of the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2016. So here we are.
That's dark.
That's really dark. All right. So I want to wrap this up, man. I want to go and park myself on the couch and eat a peanut butter sandwich. And I've got a whole weekend worth of Hermitcraft videos to catch up on because I wasn't plugged in. And, I'm such a giant nerd.
Yeah. Which is awesome. Yeah, I'm going to check in regularly with that TED Talk thing. If anybody listening now on my Facebook page, I put a post out asking for TED Talks. I would absolutely love for TED Talk suggestions. It was going to be really easy for me because I'm going to do 100 TED Talks in 100 days. I think probably starting tomorrow. But I knew that even just going back to the TED Radio Hour, I knew I was going to be able to get them. But I like it way more that I might be able to get enough just from community suggestions, plus the ones that for myself I can't sort of not do. So please hit that post. Tell me any TED Talk that or your top 1, 2, 3, 4 favorite TED Talks or whatever, and I'll include them if they're in the first 100 submissions.
Right.
That way it's kind of more of a team effort.
Yep. One of the ones I put in the list that I hope you will. I'm sure you'll play because you loved it too. Was the Sugata Nitra, who's the researcher from England that went to India and put a computer 100%. Terminal in a bare wall, and kids taught themselves how to speak English and code within 30 days.
Yeah, that would have been one of mine regardless.
Yeah, and he ended up with a second group of students doing. He says, "Here's information about DNA," and went back 30 days to check. We understand nothing, but it turned out they understood a whole lot. Right up to the current moment of where we are with DNA research. So that's definitely one of my favorites of all time. The granny cloud, the idea of grandmothers being supportive of children learning for themselves. Really cool idea in education.
All right.
So I have to address this. Hermitcraft sounds interesting. Is it on YouTube? Yes. If you Google search Hermitcraft, Bubba, this is a group of Minecraft players that run a server where they create amazing builds in a survival world. They've been doing this is the 7th season of Hermitcraft, and you get to see them build a world up from absolute zero. And these are extraordinarily talented Minecraft pioneers. And they're also very entertaining. The videos are really funny. They edit them together and they interact with each other and play pranks on each other. And it's how I learned how to launch chickens into Corey's house on Minecraft, was by watching Hermitcraft videos. So I highly recommend that you check out Hermitcraft on YouTube. It's cool stuff. Yeah.
Just I'm now thinking of ones that I can't not include.
Right.
Like the Jane McGonigal ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the happy secret to better work.
Right. Oh, what the master procrastinator one was pretty funny too. The guy who
the Wait But Why guy.
Yeah. Also, I was happy to see that somebody put Reggie Watts' TED Talk on your list, where he
man, there's so many that
fake foreign languages and then does crazy music with his mouth.
There's already so many that I just would never have done.
Yep.
So that's cool.
All right, man. Let's wrap this up. Let's go get on with our day. I have nothing planned today. I'm on the couch, watching videos, chilling out, enjoying my life. That's my plan for the day. So
I kind of feel like you could do a lot worse.
Right? I mean, I could go to a restaurant, but I'm not doing that. Oh, yeah. Also, I got good news today. Like, for any of you that are sweating the stimulus thing, I, for the first time today, got a note from Social Security Administration that my stimulus should be on its way within the first week of May, which this is the first indicator I had that I was even getting one stimulus check. So my mom got hers in the mail on Saturday, so they're beginning to land among our friends locally. So if that's you, maybe some good news in your world as well. And I am on SSI, so that made my route to stimulus a little more complicated than somebody that's been working. But it looks like I'm going to get a stimulus check, so I'm going to spend it all on hookers and blow. That's what I'm doing. Actually, I'm going to probably pay for our Minecraft server for a year. That's one of the things I'm going to do, is make sure that we're paid for a year, and we can continue to build on the Church of Reason.
Fred had a TED Talk speaker on his show a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's really awesome.
I got to listen to some of Fred's shows. Podcasts for me are a driving thing. Like, I tend to listen to them mostly when I'm on the road, and I haven't been on the road. I'm getting 4 weeks to the gallon right now in my car. So I haven't been doing a lot of driving and podcast listening. So, Fred, I'll make it a point to tune in and download a couple. So, all right. That's going to do it for our hashtag Coffee Murder Hornets edition for Monday, May the 4th, 2020. Tomorrow is Revenge of the 5th. Tomorrow, I guess.
Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah,
how
Star
have I
Wars
never
Day
heard
Part
that
2.
before?
Yeah, that's a thing.
I'm cool with it.
So I expect all the great Star Wars memes over the next couple of days. So thank you, everybody, for keeping me entertained that way. And
Fred's making the point that hookers are probably out of work now, so feel bad for them, and that might actually be an argument for your.
I'm just trying to stimulate the economy.
Yeah, the local economy, like drug dealers and hookers need to eat too. I mean, that's right. That's just real.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Fucking all hail Baby Yoda.
Yeah, back we're back Wednesday with another hashtag Coffee Show, 10 o'clock on the YouTube channel. We're struggling with Twitch. It's just, you'd think we'd have plenty of time to learn new things, but it's just not working out that way right now. But we're working towards doing some more Twitch. I think our friend Bob actually did a Twitch stream on our behalf on Sunday morning for the Church of Reason. That's pretty cool. So maybe that's what we do. Maybe the church goes to Twitch. We work up.
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. Like, I think that's a good way for us to start testing that stuff out.
Hey, Ginny, that's also how you know who the lapsed Catholics in your listening audience are. May the 4th be with you, and all the Catholics go, and also with you. Something. All right, that's going to do it for coffee. That's Corey. I'm Greg, not Corey. And you've been watching hashtag Coffee on the So Local Live Network on Facebook. You can join us there. We would love it if you would like and share this video back to your social media platform, because that helps us generate new listeners. We have 188 subscribers, so we're 20% or more or less to our goal of 1,000, which would allow us to monetize the stream. We'd like to get that done. So invite your friends to come watch our videos, and make sure they're not dicks, because we have a strict no dick policy here on hashtag Coffee.
Relatively strict. I mean,
acting like a dick. Like a dick.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Love you guys very much. I got the button. So
you got the button.
I'm going to end the stream. You guys have a great day and stay safe out there. And don't go to restaurants right now, please. Just like, please.
But dude, to go though, like support them.
Yeah.
Just don't go outside. It's dumb.
No. Love you guys.
And again, you're going to be surrounded by the dumbest people in America. So
yeah,
just want to throw that out there.
People that just want a haircut. All right.
Blue Lives Matter.
Blue Lives Matter. Sasquatch is real.